First series will be, or first game, apologies, will be on Neo-Humanity, spawning in the top left-hand position of the map with the blue Zerg pieces. Give it up for SunSet. And spawning in the bottom right-hand side, it is Hellraiser. Excited to see what both of these players have in mind for this map, this particular matchup, and going up against these particular players. Imagine a lot of research has probably gone into figuring out how to deal with Hellraiser by SunSet. For sure, because I'm pretty sure this is a matchup where SunSet might be a bit of an underdog here, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be interesting to see what he has planned for Hellraiser. Fairly standard opening out of the Zerg players so far, as well out of the Protoss player. Nothing too aggressive. Focusing on economy. Just your typical PvZ opening. Nexus first from Hellraiser, going to be popping down that cybernetics core here momentarily. Probe got a little bit of harassment done. It's actually going to have a mineral to bring home for his troubles. Looks like he's going to try once again. It's always so fascinating to see these higher level players, like, just trying to cut any edge possible. Harassing, like, mineral lines, causing the opponent to have to pull a drone off of the line. Always fascinating. He really wants that drone. He might even. I wonder if he's actually going to be able to get it. Probe goes into taste it again. I think at this point he has too low health to really get anything done there. Third base is going to be going down for SunSet momentarily. And this is actually going to be a Stargate opening out of Hellraiser. Oh, SunSet actually taking the rich gas. So I imagine this is going to be just a big, like, Roach Ravager bust. Definitely fascinating to see. And I imagine Hellraiser isn't really going to see this for a while. Certainly is going to be poking around a little bit here. Oracle on the way now for Hellraiser. Oh, going into Void Ray next. Interesting. Going into that slightly older style of ZVP here. It's going to spot this Rich Vespine base. Doing a little bit of scouting around. Going to try and get into the main base of SunSet. Maybe do a little bit of damage if possible. Oh, ooh, flies right over the Queens. Takes a bit of hull damage. Ooh. Actually manages to get a drone for his troubles. Definitely a brave maneuver there out of Hellraiser, almost losing that Oracle. Alright, Void Ray is now out. Going to supply block SunSet, taking out the Overlord. And I imagine it's going to be able to poke around a little bit more and probably catch a couple more Overlords. That being said, nope. I do apologize. It's not time for that music yet. Alright, so it looks like SunSet's kind of calling Hellraiser's bluff here. isn't really going for like a heavy air defense style. We are getting roaches and roach speed on the way now. Hellraiser is setting up the Dark Shrine. Looks like we're going to be going for... I feel silly to say, but we are going for DTs, I guess. SunSet spending a little bit of time trying to open up the map, make it a little bit easier for him to traverse. And Hellraiser's going to get another Overlord for his troubles. This Void Ray has just been so pesky. Also, it's kind of interesting to see Hellraiser like getting as much value out of this Void Ray as possible. Disengaging prismatic alignment at the last second. Alright, it looks like yeah, SunSet's going to be going for a big push here. Void Ray is going to try and pick up a couple of these roaches before they can really get too much done. Looks like Hellraiser actually has a pretty decent defense here. One shield battery has just finished up. This is a big bust coming out of SunSet now. There is one Dark Templar who's going to be able to pick off a couple of these roaches potentially. SunSet continuing to push down the gas as hard as he can, making more lings, more roaches, trying to crank out as many units as possible. Meanwhile, Hellraiser's he's sending out the Dark Templar to, I'm assuming, get a little bit damaged on the other side of the map. Looks like Cybercore is going to go down here for Hellraiser, and the Zerg has finally busted in. It looks like he's going to try and target down that shield battery. Hellraiser holding back on the shield overcharge to not waste it. And it looks like Hellraiser's in a bit of trouble here. Now, the Roach Ravager is separated from the Queens just a little bit. A couple of biles are going to go down. Actually, I think he hit one of the roaches there. Now, the Void Ray is going to be able to kind of pick all of this stuff off without too much trouble. It's a little bit too far away from the Queen. Stalker's pushing forward, trying to create a little bit of buffer there for the Void Ray, but it looks like SunSet's just continuing to bust in here. And it looks like Hellraiser's actually in a little bit of trouble now. He really needs to hold on here and survive. Ooh, a bit of a whiff there on the biles. Hellraiser continuing to try and put up a valiant defense, but it looks like the Void Ray is going to go down. There's only a couple of Stalkers left. They're getting pushed into the third base. Meanwhile, the rest of the Zerg units are going to be able to take out the Natural here. And this is looking very scary for Hellraiser. More units streaming across the map now for the Zerg player. It looks like he's going to have to give up the defense of this Natural. There's just nothing he can really do. He just doesn't have enough units. Making a couple of shield batteries and a photon cannon to try and defend, trying to defend the main base there. It looks like at this point SunSet is running out of steam here just a little bit. Queens are going to be dropping a couple of transfuses down to keep those units alive. And it looks like SunSet's finally feeling comfortable enough to push back in again. Now the creep is all the way up to Hellraiser's base at this point, so this is oof. I wouldn't want to be in Hellraiser's position right now. This is dicey. That being said, he is taking another base over here. Technically a fourth base, but really just reestablishing the Natural, while also reestablishing the actual Natural. But for now, it looks like Hellraiser has defended. I don't want to say stabilized, but yeah, this is going to be sketchy. It's going to be hard to defend this without a shield battery. Alright, taking out a couple of those changelings. Deny SunSet a little bit of scouting information. Meanwhile, SunSet is preparing for another attack. A couple of Ravagers are in the production queue. Alright, looks like we're going for round 2 here. A couple of the Stalkers basically immediately get taken out. Blink back, and it looks like he's going to try and get SunSet to kind of attack through this choke, but it looks like it's not going to really happen here. Hellraiser continuing to try and beat this back, but there is just so much Zerg here. In fact, SunSet is even breaking into the main base at this point. There's nothing to defend there. All the Stalkers are here in between the third base and the Natural trying to defend. Trying to take out some of these units so that they can get to the main base to actually defend. On the other side, well, there's not really much to say. I mean, they're just destroying Hellraiser's main base. More Zerg units are streaming in right now. The Stalkers are basically completely surrounded. Try to get something done. Shield battery overcharge has been popped, and it should be able to hold this position for a little bit longer, at least until this goes down. Looks like a couple Stalkers were warped in and managed to push back the Zerg from the main base. More Zerg units are just streaming in. This is truly the Swarm breaking into Hellraiser's bases. But that being said, Hellraiser is continuing to hang in there. It looks like SunSet has run out of steam, and looks like he's going to try and go back into droning. I mean, he did get a lot of damage done there. This Oracle's still alive? Oh my god, it has 12 kills. Look at that. Hellraiser defending his base and getting damage done on the other side of the map. The caster didn't even realize. You may now feel free to shame the caster in chat. SunSet breaking into the base once again. The creep is basically in the main base at this point. Big recall to try and defend. There's just so much Zerg here, but it looks like the Protoss will actually be able to push this back now. Zealot chargelots are online now, and it looks like, yeah, Hellraiser has enough to actually push this back. Still seems to be in a bit of a dicey position with this creep highway actually in his base, but Hellraiser continues to survive. And also, +2 did finish up at some point in there, giving Hellraiser definitely an effective edge over the Roach Ravager. It looks like SunSet has decided to try and go for another bus here. More Ravagers, more Roaches in the production queue, moving across the map once again. And Hellraiser is trying to get out a couple more gateways to be able to more effectively reinforce his defense here. Oracle is going to be taken out. That thing that's basically paid for itself at this point. Alright, once again, ooh, a couple of Biles do manage to make contact. Once again, Hellraiser is going to be backed up into his third base location. There is a shield battery here. I'm not sure if shield battery overcharge is ready. It looks like it actually is. He could pop that at some point. Yep, there we go. Shield battery overcharge is popped, and it looks like this Stalker army will be able to survive. Ooh, actually, nice call there, taking out the pylon to make sure that Hellraiser cannot use that shield battery overcharge anymore. It seems like there's maybe just enough Stalkers here to actually be able to take out the Zerg army, but they're having to kite away from the base, leaving a couple of Zerg units there to kind of roam free and do whatever they want. They are going to clean this up and be able to defend now. SunSet going for another wave, more Roaches, more Ravagers. Yeah, you know what they say, if it doesn't work the first time, try again. I think at this time, that was the third one. At this point, Hellraiser is actually moving across the map a little bit. Managed to clean up most of the creep highway, so this is going to give him a little bit of breathing room. Now, SunSet is not only defensive, but in a little bit worse of a position. Stalkers are continuing to kite backwards, managing to actually take out a decent chunk of those Roaches. Now, the fourth base is up and running. We do have a shield battery overcharge once again. Alright, and now we don't. Stalkers continue to defend here at the fourth base. Zealots come in from the back, and it looks like this is going to be cleaned up once again. Now SunSet looks to be the one in the worst position. Hellraiser is significantly ahead in economy. A couple Zerglings stream in, but they're not really going to be able to do too much. And now Hellraiser has the lead. He's still trying to take this natural. Alright, now Hellraiser is the one on the offensive, pushing into that rich Vespene, guys. I mean, it's basically done, but if you could delay some of the... When did this Disruptor get here? Alright, that's going to be the last word on the match. Hellraiser wins. I didn't even notice he had a Robo Bay. What a chaotic game. Fantastic out of both players. Really well played. That looks sketchy for Hellraiser there for a hot minute. I thought for sure SunSet was going to take that. But it looks like Hellraiser's tenacity got the better of SunSet. And we're going to be going into game number 2 with Hellraiser in the lead. Excellent games of StarCraft 2 today, I gotta say. All the players have been giving it their all, and it has been absolute joy to cast. All right, game number 2 on Royal Blood. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side of the map, it is SunSet. And up one match, the yellow Protoss player, Hellraiser. So now I've learned today that on Neo-Humanity, if you break down the rocks, it is actually quite a short, it is not that long of a distance to get to your opponent's base. Learn something new every day. Alright, Gateway Scout coming out for Hellraiser now. Once again, fairly standard openings out of both players. No shenanigans so far, but there is still time for shenanigans. Spawning pool goes down. Once again, we do have a probe that's just decided I'm gonna ruin this drone's day. I'm just gonna be a nuisance. It kind of feels like you know what this probe reminds me of? It reminds me of like one of those vloggers who goes up to people and asks just stupid, annoying questions. That's what this feels like. It feels like one of those gotcha interviews where you ask something really stupid. Fortunately, it looks like the police are here to escort him out of the area, where he will have to vlog from his home. Good riddance, Mr. Probe. Stargate opening out of Hellraiser once again. So I kind of find it interesting that in that last game, Hellraiser never made another Void Ray, and I'm not quite sure. I guess there are just too many queens on the field for him to feel safe making more Void Rays, and the Stalkers gave him a little bit more maneuverability. But it feels like more Void Rays would have been able to deal with the roaches pretty effectively. Then again, this is these are the thoughts of the armchair general, the one that's not actually in the game, stressed out playing. All right, more gateways are on the way. Void Ray first. We're taking some time. What? Hey, you might want to deact. Okay. Couple circles gonna poke the front. Not much is gonna be able to be done there. He might have saw the extra gateway though. Void Ray moving across the map. Gonna try and poke around a little bit. See if we could maybe grab another Overlord, get some scouting done. Well, actually, the Oracle's probably gonna get the scouting done. Squishes a couple of Zerglings. No big deal. Twilight Council on the way. Layer on the way for the Zerg player. Alright, let's see. We don't have a Roach Warren, so it looks like SunSet's going to play probably a little bit less aggressive than last game. Just droning up, getting that economy all filled out. Gonna send a couple of links to try and test Hellraiser a little bit, but there's already a depth here with the shield battery, and the Stalker in the wall shouldn't be able to be budged there. Blink and +1 are on the way now. Dep pops in. Looks like got one drone kill, but nothing much else. Oracle popping in, trying to get some more damage done. Looks like it's not going to be the case. Void Ray takes out an Overlord. Mostly just kind of being a nuisance, really. Just something for the queens to chase around a little bit. Trying to get damage done where they can. That being said, SunSet has done a pretty decent job of chasing these air units away for the most part. Zerglings are going to catch this Adept out in the open, unfortunately. Oracle's going to be moving back in. Looks like it's not really going to be able to get much done with the queens there. Void Ray doing a little bit of creep clearing. Also, have you ever noticed the noises that the Oracle makes? It's actually kind of like one of my... Oh. Actually gets all of the active creep tumors there. Nice. Arian's going to be chased away now. Hydralisk are coming out now for our Zerg player. Big gateway energy coming out of Hellraiser here. Oh, gonna take a little bit of hull damage there on the Oracle, but it looks like he's gonna back away. Should be fine. Large swarm here of Lings and Hydralisk. Gonna try and break in. I don't know if that's necessarily the correct call, but it looks like maybe SunSet could get a little bit of damage done. That being said, Blink is done for these Stalkers, so they should be able to retreat pretty effectively. Oh, once they get broken up like that. Oh, a Shield Overcharge is going to be popped here. And Hellraiser should survive this, I think. A lot of Stalkers have been taken out. Yeah, this should be cleaned up pretty effectively. Well, actually, another Swarm of Lings come in. They're going to break a lot more of the Stalkers. The Void Ray was taken out. A couple of expensive units were taken out for Hellraiser, but then again, SunSet is SunSet's sticking on 52 workers, and it's just making Lings and Hydras. Really wanting to go for a high damage bust here. All right, more shield batteries have been made, and looks like, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like this is an effective attack coming out of SunSet. A couple of units get warped in. Looks like he's going to try and jump on top of these retreating Hydras. Actually does manage to take out a significant number of them. I feel like this is a very costly trade here for SunSet, being on such a low worker count. Like, Hellraiser's just ahead macro-wise. Now we have units trickling in from the Zerg player. Yeah, this feels like a very expensive trade for the Zerg. About 800 more resources lost for a Zerg player. Not a great position to be in. That being said, I was going to say there's a fourth base up for the Zerg player, but it really just looks like it's just for larva production. More Lings, more Hydras coming out. It looks like Hellraiser wants to take a forward fourth, and that's definitely not... This is definitely not going to survive. Yep, everything's going to get canceled there. So it looks like SunSet is just going to want to put on the aggression for the rest of the game by the looks of things. Oh my god, is that actually going to get in? Good lord. Alright, so it looks like the Gateway Army is not going to be able to really get too much done here. Shield Battery Overcharge is popped on that battery, but it gets taken out pretty quickly. Now, the Zerglings and the Hydralisk are fairly separated, so I think Hellraiser might be able to make piecemeal out of this army. A couple more Zerglings come in, push back the Stalkers. Oh, there is one Colossus that managed to pop out just in time to deal with some of these Hydralisk. Oh, this is... Oh, no, this is scary. Alright, Gateway Army is pushing back some of this army, and it looks like the Hydralisk might be close to taking out the Stalker. It looks like, nope, the Stalkers, or the Colossus are going to be take out all of this. Once again, Zerg units are just kind of trickling in. And once again, Hellraiser is going to push this back pretty effectively. Oop. Bit of an aggressive blink there, and it looks like Hellraiser is going to pay for this. A lot of Zerglings are just going to be able to shred these Stalkers. They managed to blink out of it, though. And with that, Hellraiser moves on.